Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Hi guys, today we are going to start our lecture on limiting reactant, and in this lesson you people will be able to define what basically limiting reactant is, and you people can also able to solve different problems based on limiting reactants. So let's begin this lesson. What basically limiting reactant is? Limiting reactant or limiting reagent is the same name for the same words, right? So limiting reactant, we can use the word for limiting reactant, the limiting reagent. Here is the definition of the limiting reactant, that the limiting reactant is a reactant that is completely used up, in a reaction. So we will say this is the limiting reactant. It limits or determines the amount of products formed in the reaction. The reactants that are not used up in a reaction are said to be in excess. So I will give you the understanding of these definitions about the limiting reactant with the examples. So let's move on along with these examples. Okay. If we have one empty packet of biscuit and four loose biscuits, so one ticky pack of biscuit we use four biscuits. So if we will use four biscuit in one empty packet, we will get one packet of biscuit. So this one packet of biscuit will be formed, that is the product. So if we will say that one empty packet and four loose biscuits are the reactants, okay, if we will say that chemically that these for example these are two reactant size, we have to write one empty biscuit and four loose biscuits, and one product will be formed after packing these four loose biscuits in one empty pack. So we will get one packet of biscuit. Now question is, if we have five empty packets and 12 loose biscuits, how many biscuits can be packed in how many wrappers? So question is, how many empty packets will be used up and how many biscuits will be left behind? So we will check it after packing it in one packet. We have to add 1, 2, 3 and 4. So in this packet we have used 4 packets. Another one, we have packed this one, we have packed this one. Okay, wait, this one is done. Now one is there, 1, 2, third biscuit we are going to pack in it, and then 4. So we have packed 4 biscuit in one empty packet. So in the next one we are going to in the next packet we are going to add these 4 biscuits. Now 1, 2, 3 and 4. Okay, so we have did the packing of the loose biscuits in 3 empty packets, right? In 3 empty packets, 1, 2 and 3. These 3 packets are packed with four loose biscuits in each packet. Now how many are left wrappers, or how many empty packets are left behind? There are these 2 actually, this one is left empty and this one is left empty. So here are these 2 packets which are left empty. So the thing which completely utilized in this reaction, if we will say, if the biscuits are totally utilized in to make the product, so if we will say these are the reactants, so the reactant that is completely used up to make the product, we have got 3 packets of biscuits. Okay, but Question is, in the reactants, we have got two reactants, 5 empty packets and 12 loose biscuits. In this product of 3 packets of biscuit, in this products, all the biscuits are used up. So the reactant which is completely used up is called as limiting reactant. The reactant which is completely used up is called as limiting reactant, and the reactant which is going to left behind, these two wrappers. So these two wrappers which are left behind are called as, excess reagent or excess reactant, right? This reactant is left behind, so we will say that this is an excess reactant. It couldn't be the part of the product. So 3 packets of biscuits are the part of products. Now just have a look on the definition again. What basically limiting reactant is? The limiting reactant is a reactant that is completely used up in a reaction. So loose biscuits got the limiting reactant because they completely utilize in the reaction. It limits or determines the amount of products, right? It will determine how much amount of product will be formed. If we got the number of biscuits, so we got to know that how much product, how many packets of biscuits will be prepared. So which will determine? Limiting reactant will determine about the product. Good. So the reactants that are not used up in a reaction is said to be in excess. So the packets which remain behind, we said this is called as the excess one. So this basically excess reactant or excess reagent are the 2 empty packets. So I would like to give you the more understanding with one more example of daily life. Yes, you know that how burgers can be prepared and what are the ingredients of the burgers. If we will tell it in chemical equation, like one chicken patty, one cheese and one burger bun is going to be utilized to prepare one product of burger. One burger will formed by utilize one burger bun, one cheese slice and one chicken patty. Question is this, that how basically this one chicken patty and one cheese slice, one burger bun is utilized for one burger. If we have 5 chicken patties, come towards this. If we have 5 chicken patty, 9 cheese slice, right, plus 7 burger buns. These are our reactants. Okay, we have reactants here on the our left hand side and our products are the on right hand side. Okay, if we have 5 chicken patty, okay, we will prepare these burgers. 5 chicken patties I will insert in one burger. Okay, if we are going to take 1 chicken patty here in one burger and 1 cheese slice in this burger to prepare this burger. In the second burger, 1 cheese slice will move here and chicken patty will be here. 2 burgers material are ready. For the next, we are going to prepare third burger. Okay, the material for 3 burgers are ready. Another cheese slice, another burger bun. Okay, there are 4 cheese slice here and the last chicken patty will insert here. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Total 5 burger buns are the material of 5 burger buns are there. The rest are the 1, 2, 3, 4 slices of cheese and 2 slices of 2 pieces of burger buns will left behind. So the amount which is left behind is in excess. Now these 5 burger buns are ready, right? These 5 burger buns are ready. The left behind material are 4 cheese slices and 2 burger buns. So these are our excess one. 4 the excess reagent or reactants are the 4 cheese slices and the 2 burger buns. So these 2 burger buns and 4 cheese slices are in excess. And so in order to make the product that are 5 burger buns, so these excess one will not be the part of the product of these burgers, right? If we have 5 chicken patties, 7 cheese slices, 7 burger buns, then we will prepare 5 burger buns, 2 cheese slices and 2 burger buns will left behind. So in this part we will say the remaining part will be called as excess reagent or excess reactants. Excess reagent or excess reactant, right? Whereas the chicken patty which completely used and in making the product is called as limiting reactant. The reactant which completely used up is called as limiting reactant. So I hope so you got this concept. How can we calculate if we have a chemical reaction, how can we define and get to know what are the limiting reactants and what are the excess reactants. So if we will define what basically excess reactant is. Excess reactant is what which is left over after the reaction stops. So because the limiting reactant got all used up, excess will remain behind. So excess reactant is what which is left over after the reaction, which will remain behind is called as the excess reactant. Now here are some of the problems which we are going to discuss to give you the complete understanding how to calculate the limiting reactant by using the chemical reaction. First question. Given the following reaction, zinc plus copper chloride, zinc chloride plus copper. Our first question is, how many moles of zinc chloride will be formed when 5 moles of zinc reacts with 10 moles of copper chloride? So remember, do you know this reaction, what does it show? It's like this is the standard one. Like we have told previously with the example, with 1 burger bun we use 1 cheese slice, 1 chicken patty to form the product. So this is the standard one how we are going to calculate the things. Okay. How many moles of zinc chloride will be formed? So we have to calculate the moles of zinc chloride by using 5 moles of zinc reacts with 10 moles of copper chloride. So we have to we come to know what we have basically. This is our reaction, zinc plus copper chloride, zinc chloride plus copper. So this is basically a reaction where we have to know about what basically moles of zinc chloride are. So how we will calculate the moles of? Yes, very easy. First of all, we have to write the given data. We know 5 moles of zinc. Okay, we know the amount 5 moles of zinc. 5 moles of zinc are given. Right, 5 moles of zinc are given. Then next what we are having, 10 moles of copper chloride. So whenever we want to know the amount in excess or we want to know the limiting reactant, then in that case we have the two values, both the reactants got the values from which we will do the comparison how much the reactant will be used up and which one is left over. So zinc plus copper chloride. So we have to do the comparison. How we will do the comparison? Okay, let me give you the example and detailed understanding. 5 moles of zinc is here and 10 moles of copper chloride is reacted. Question is all zinc is being reacted in this reaction or copper chloride is reacted, all the copper chloride will react? Which one is limiting? We will identify. The way to identify, first of all, we will use the ratio method. In this ratio method, either one quantity or either one value we will use. Ratio will be between these two reactants. The amount of zinc, the moles of zinc from the equation. 1 mole of zinc and 1 mole of copper chloride. Okay, 1 mole of zinc react with 1 mole of copper chloride. This is a standard one, right? This as I have said to you that in one burger bun we need one chicken patty, and we need one cheese slice. Same like this, one zinc will react with the 1 mole of copper chloride to give you the product. Okay, this is the standard values. So if we have 5 moles of zinc, I will write it here, 5 moles of zinc, then how many moles of copper chloride will be produced? So copper chloride will be 5 moles. Okay. So for this reaction, for 5 moles of zinc, we required 5 moles of copper chloride. But how many moles of copper chloride are there? 10. So 10 minus 5, 5 moles will be utilized. Remaining 10 moles of copper chloride will remain behind. So 10 moles of copper chloride which will left behind is in excess. So which thing is in the which one is the limiting? Zinc. So we can say that zinc is our limiting reactant. Okay. Now we will move ahead. What we have to calculate? How many moles of zinc chloride? We have to calculate the moles of zinc. So this is the part where you have to focus, that the limiting reactant is totally the part of product. We will not do the comparison with the excess one because that will not the part of the product. So limiting reactant completely used up and totally the part of the product. So if we have to calculate the moles of zinc chloride, we will do the ratio method with the limiting reactant. So limiting reactant is zinc. 1 mole of zinc, from the equation we will take 1 mole of zinc and 1 mole of zinc chloride. Okay. Then how many moles of zinc are there? 5. 5 moles of zinc, we will use these moles, right? 5 moles of zinc produce how many moles of zinc chloride? So moles of zinc chloride are 5 moles. Okay. This is the way through which we will solve the question. So come towards the next question. Pause the video, practice this question again if you want to get the better understanding. So for the combustion of sucrose, the equation is given to you. There are 10.0 gram of sucrose and 10.0 gram of oxygen, right, reacting, which is the limiting reagent. So we have to calculate what is the limiting reagent here. Remember, whenever we are going to get a chemical equation, it tells the standard values which basically are going to react. The amount basically which are the exactly one reacting with the reactants and give the products are basically those one which are reacting. So the amount which are reacting over there, we have to calculate it. First of all, we will see which data is given to us. 10.0 gram of sucrose and 10.0 gram of oxygen is given to us. First of all, we will get the calculus to calculate the moles in order to get the values of it. The first step, how to calculate the moles? The formula is moles is equal to mass over mR. Okay. If we will see what basically mR of sucrose is, first step is to calculate the molecular mass of sucrose, C12, H22 and O11, right? C12, 12 into 12, 144 plus 1 into 22 plus 22 plus 16 multiplied by 11, answer is 176. So answer is, when we will calculate it, the answer will be 342. So here we will write the MR. Let me raise to get the space here. So we have calculated the MR of sucrose, that is 342. Okay. The mass which is given to us is the 10 gram. So in order to calculate the moles of both sucrose and, now if we will get the moles of sucrose, 10.0 gram divided by the MR of it is the 342 gram is equal to, if we will divide, we will get the value 0.0292. So this will be the answer, moles of sucrose. Okay, moles of sucrose. Now in the next step we have to calculate the moles of oxygen, right? So the same formula, when we will calculate the moles of oxygen, 10.0 gram, oxygen 16 into 2, 32, the molecular mass of oxygen molecule 32, then answer will be 0.312. So these are the moles which we have calculated, the 0.312 moles, and the moles which we have calculated for the sucrose are these two. So we have to do comparison between these two values. How we will do the comparison? By using the ratio method. So we have the ratio method. How we can do the comparison? Through the ratio method, right? C12, H22, O11, okay, and O2. Always in ratio method we have the values, we have to get the values from the equation. So 1 mole of sucrose reacts with 12 moles of oxygen. First we will write 1 mole of sucrose reacts with 12 moles of oxygen. So after having a look on 12 moles of oxygen, we will write the moles of sucrose. We can do the comparison with any one value. So these are the moles of sucrose, 0.0292. We will multiply 12 by 2 divided by 1, we will get the answer. So here we will write 12 multiplied by 0.0292. So after multiplying it, let me multiply these values. 12 multiplied by 0.0292 and answer is 0.350. Okay, the answer which we have got is the 0.350. So how many moles of sucrose will be reacted in this reaction are the 0.350. 0.350 are the moles which reacts with the oxygen to form all the products. So now we will check after comparing the value of oxygen. Remember, 0.0292 moles are required to react with 0.3 moles of oxygen. So these are the moles of oxygen. So here we have the moles of oxygen. Moles of oxygen are 0.312. The value of moles of oxygen, here are the moles of oxygen, 0.312, and here the part of reaction is 0.350. So the required amount is little greater than the present one, than the used one, which is the used in the reaction. The amount which is used in the reaction is 0.312, but we required 0.350. So now here in this case 0.350 is greater than the 0.312, so value is so we have the less amount of oxygen here, so we can say that amount of oxygen in this reaction is less and all used up. The amount which is less and totally used up in a reaction is called as limiting reactant. Limiting reactant. So this is the way through which you people will learn how to calculate the limiting reactant. There are some more examples, some little advanced, how to calculate the limiting reactant. Okay. This one, our third example. Aluminium reacts with chlorine gas to form aluminium chloride via the following reaction. How many grams of aluminum chloride be produced from 34.0 grams of aluminum and 39.0 gram of chlorine gas? First step, don't forget to calculate the number of moles. Okay, first of all, we will check what we will have. Aluminum plus, let me raise how. Okay, first we will check we have aluminum, value of aluminum, and we have the value of chlorine. Okay, the value of aluminum is given is 34.0 gram. If we have to calculate the moles of both, then we can mass over AR 34.0 divided by 27, and if we will calculate the moles of chlorine, if we have to calculate the moles of chlorine, then the given mass of chlorine is 39.0. In the first step we will and chlorine is 35.5. if we have to calculate the MR of it, multiply by 35.5, answer is 71. Okay, mass over moles we have to calculate by dividing mass over AR or MR. So if we will divide both the values, 34.0 divided by 27, we will get the answer 1.26, and by dividing this we will get if we will divide it, we will get 0.55. So these are the moles of aluminum and moles of chlorine. Correct? We have got both the moles. Now what we will do, which reactant is in excess and which one is in limiting, is the limiting reactant. So we will calculate and check it, which one is the limiting and which one is the now we will do the ratio method. Either values we can check. Now for example, aluminum versus chlorine, both the reactants. So from the equation we will get the values. 2 moles of aluminum react with 3 moles of chlorine. Okay, we will write 2 moles of aluminum will react with 3 moles of chlorine, right? Now if we have the moles of aluminum are 1.26. If we have to write 1.26 here, right? Ratio method. Okay, the way we will write it like this: 1.26 multiplied by 3, right? And 2x is equal to, right? Now x is equal to 1.26 multiplied by 3 divided by 2, right? This is the way through which we will get the answer of moles of chlorine. If we will solve it, we will get the answer 0.366. 1.89 moles of chlorine. Let me calculate it. Let me 1.26 multiplied by 3 divided by 2, and answer will be 1.89 moles. 1.89 moles are required for this reaction. Okay, how many moles we are having? Either here we are having 1.89. How many we are having here? The moles of chlorine are 0.55, and the required one is, how many are required? If we need 2 moles, if we react 2 moles with 3 moles of chlorine and we have 1.26 moles of aluminum, then we need 1.89 moles of chlorine. But here the amount which we required is more, right? But the amount of chlorine in this reaction is less. So what we will say, the amount which is in less, or the amount which you are totally used up, the amount which are not in excess is called as a limiting reactant. That is totally used up in a reaction is called as limiting reagent or reactant. So don't forget what we have done. Actually we have first of all, in first step we have calculated the moles, then we do the comparison with the ratio method with the moles given in the equation, right? That is a standard equation. Just like that we have done the examples previously in the previous question. Just like that we have to do this. So in the two moles reacts with 3 moles of chlorine, the amount, the moles which we have to do the comparison with the quantities which we have. Okay, now we have the limiting one is 0.55 of chlorine, and our required amount is 1.9. Okay, in the reaction what we have to calculate, how many grams of aluminium chloride, we have to calculate the 2LCO3. We have to calculate the mass of aluminium chloride. So in order to calculate the mass of aluminium chloride, we got to know the moles of aluminium chloride. So by using which reactant, I have moles of both reactants. By using limiting reactant Cl2, we will calculate the moles of aluminium chloride. So Cl2 is our limiting reactant. We will use the values, put the values here and get the answers. From the equation, first of all, we will get the moles. 3 moles of chlorine, 2 moles of aluminium chloride. Okay. From the equation, we have got the values. 3 moles of chlorine will react with 2 moles of aluminium chloride. Now, if we have 0. What moles we have calculated? 0.55. Okay. If we have 0.55 moles of chlorine, which is totally the part of the product, what will be the answer? Okay. Let me use the calculator. Okay, I'm getting the answer. 0. Do you know how we will do this? Okay, let me tell you again. 3x is equal to 2 multiplied by 0.55. X is equal to 2 multiplied by 0.55 divided by 3. We will get the moles of aluminium chloride. 2 multiplied by 0.55 divided by 3, then answer is 0.366. 0.366. So here we will get the answer. What we will have to calculate, how many grams of aluminium. We have to calculate the moles. Now we have calculated the moles of aluminium chloride, right? The formula to calculate mass is equal to moles into mR. So now we have to calculate the molecular mass of aluminium chloride, AlCl3, 27 plus 35.5 multiplied by 3. So first of all, we will get the mR of aluminium chloride. That is the 35.5 multiplied by 3 plus 27. 35.5 multiplied by 3 plus 27. Answer is 130. I don't know, where is it? 133.5. Okay. Moles are moles are 0. These are our moles of aluminium chloride. 0.366 moles of aluminium chloride multiplied by molecular mass as 133.5. We will multiply by it the mole 0.366, and answer is 116.3 gram. So answer is 116.3 gram. So this is our answer, 16.3 gram. So this is the way through which we will calculate and proceed rest of the question by using the limiting reactant. It is very necessary to know for us how to calculate all the values. Now in the next I am going to give you this question for your classwork, for your homework. You will solve this question and give me the answer in comment box. Comment the answer there and don't forget to do this fourth question. This one is the fourth question. Solve this question, give the answer in the comment box, and don't forget to subscribe my channel. And guys, consistency is the key of success, so don't forget to practice these questions consistently. And practice is the key of success. I already have told it to you that don't procrastinate the things. Just try to do it right now. Practice all the things, learn more, and get the good grades. So stay blessed, stay safe. Signing off, Miss Aisha Manzoor.